And we are back on Build Phase TV, and today we are covering the Build Phase Dice Throwdown Finals. Now, before we get any further into this, I just want to be clear that this Finals is the first set of a double elimination event. So if Nate, who is coming out of the lower bracket, is able to be victorious tonight, there will be another set at some point in the future where Kamui will have the ability to fight back in. So before we get into the actual event, I wanted to check in with my brief special guest host, Whitman. Whitman, who do you think is going to come out on top today?
Kamui, but I kind of am hoping that Nate wins, just for the fact that he's an underdog here and he has some characters that maybe aren't the best for this matchup, but it'd be amazing for this event to continue and for Nate to win, but I don't think it's possible here.
So Nate is on Huntress and Ninja versus Kamui on Cursed Pirate and Pyro. Kamui went through the entire bracket without any losses, and Nate, again, is fighting his way out of the lower bracket. I think with that, Whitman, we're going to say goodbye to you, right? Because it's already past your bedtime?
I guess. Bye!
All right. Good night, buddy.
Yeah, that was my idea. Bye, everyone.
And with that, we are going to jump into coverage of the games here. So once we get all set up here, all three of us are going to be recording this game, so that way we can for sure make sure that the first set of this finals is preserved.
Huntress versus Pyro.
It looks like Huntress versus Pyro is the initial match. So I'm going to put the Ninja and the Pirate on the bench. So in the notes to the stream today, I included a link to the Board Game Geek strategy series that's written by Argon Jedit. And the reason I included that is because I think this is such a good resource, particularly for newer players, which I still somewhat am. I like the idea that there is something out there that allows you to... Oh, wait, hold on. We got a problem here. There we go. I like that there is this resource out there that allows you to really get to know the characters and not only the strategies for each character and kind of the general rolling goals. It helps you with matchups as well. So if you're following along at home and you want to look at, well, what is the Huntress and Pyro matchup going to be like according to this strategy guide, I threw some of that out there as well. Now, I think the real issue here is that while Huntress is excellent at absorbing damage and tanking that damage with Naira, nobody puts out damage better than Pyromancer, which means it's going to be a little bit of a race. Can Pyro apply enough burst that she can completely burn Naira and the Huntress out, it really comes down to who's going to be able to do more damage first, I think. The Huntress is going to do smaller amounts of damage per turn, and hopefully, if you're on Nate's side of the board, be able to absorb the Pyro's massive bursts through things like Bond. But it's going to be an uphill battle. As the players are getting set up, I am also getting set up because I want to be able to follow along as play commences and try to keep track of which abilities are set up where. All right, let's tune in and see what the players are saying as they get ready here.
Just halfway down is fine by me.
Sure.
Where would you like on mine?
I'll do 2/3 down.
2/3 down. Okay, so
I'm gonna change it up a bit sometimes.
up there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, so the players are doing their cuts here.
To get...
Now, while the Dice Throne community generally is very chill and the game, for the most part, is a fairly casual game, within build phase, dice throne, throwdown, we did want to give it a little bit more of a competitive edge. And because of that, we did institute some rules about insisting that players cut each other's decks and everything we could to ensure a fair playing field. All right, so let's check back in with the players here for the roll-off.
Oh,
Got a 4.
I guess I go first then.
6
All
and a
yours.
4.
And
Looks like we got
good luck,
Huntress
good
going
game.
first.
Have some fun.
Yeah, good luck. Have fun. Okay. I'm going to spend 2 CP to play Feral Instincts.
All right, so we got a Feral
That's a
Instincts
good early
upgrade.
upgrade. Nice.
Alright. Ooh, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Open into small straights, pretty hard to say no to.
It's pretty hard to say no to. Alright, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
I agree with that analysis. Just straight into the small straight feels like you almost have to keep it.
4. Alright, well, small straight it is. So 6 incoming damage with a bleed.
6 and a bleed. Okay, I'll go ahead and grab the bleed. Okay, looks like 1 pointless fire mastery for me and 3 back.
So part of what the Pyro does so well is damage in and damage out. So every time you attack the Pyro, you run the risk of having to eat more damage coming back your way, which is exactly what happened here.
And it's your turn.
Okay.
So there'll be a
Oh, yeah.
roll here at the beginning.
Let's roll for the bleed first.
From the Pyro for the bleed.
Got a 2, so 1 damage.
With
Fire
the 2,
mastery
you take a
immediately
little
goes
bit of
away.
damage. Now on average,
Income,
bleed tokens,
so 1 CP,
supposedly,
1
I've read on the internet, the bleed tokens are supposed to do 2 damage on average.
Okay.
Whenever I play them, they do an average of 0. Everybody stops the bleeding.
Oh, not really a whole lot of opinions, so I guess I'm just rolling dice.
No upgrades for the Pyro heading into the roll phase. Wow, all going back. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right into a large straight, so we can ignite here. And Kamui is presenting a large straight. 8 defendable damage coming towards the Huntress. It's going to bounce 2 back. Huntress, kind of like Pyro, also has the ability to throw some damage back. So a Vegas baby into a 1 CP gain is basically the same as not even playing it. You just sell the card and move on. Disappointing outcome. So that's a Molten Armor 2 coming down for the Pyro. This is going to essentially create more damage heading back Nate's way. I think if you're in Nate's shoes here, you want to be looking towards how can I get myself a bond? How can I try to keep up the health pool on Nairo while also blunting the Pyromancer's burstiness? Yep. This is Mr. Ben. I see you there in the chat slip. Gonna attempt to inactivate a Feral here. Helping Hand is going to try to take a 6 away from Nate to push him off of that mini ult. And it looks like there's going to be success. Looking at the rest of the board, that's tough. If you're holding 4 Saber-2s and one of them gets turned into a 3, that may be a scratch. Oof, yeah, that's not what you want to see if you're on Nate's side of things. They're establishing there that any die that bounces out of the dice tray should be picked up and re-rolled. And I totally agree. We have that rule in my house, so. I both love sixes and Batman. I like that comment. Wow, throwing the whole back. Let's check in with the players here.
Okay. Couple sixes. Plenty of...
Pretty close to a pyroblast there. Seems like that's
you know what, sure.
maybe where I would be
I
heading.
guess I'll just go for a pyroblast roll 1.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. Roll your
6 and a thing. The thing is another 3 damage, so 9 defendable.
9 defendable. Okay. Roll 3 back at you, and I'll take 9.
Wow, Naira's,
3 back.
the
Okay.
damage coming off of Huntress
40
has certainly
down,
been
37.
pretty impressive off the defense. Normally you expect Pyro to be the one who's throwing off a lot of hate on the D.
All you, I'm done.
Okay. CP. Draw a card.
All right, moving in the next turn here. It looks like
Oh.
Pyro has a bit of an edge in the health. Oh, hey, what's up, Joe?
The 2
Captain of Team
here.
Build Phase shows up in our chat. Let's see, he's got a Sabretooth. 2, 3, 5. Kind of seems like he was going for a straight with what he held there. And he hits a small.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Imagine we'll see an onslaught activation here. I guess he could do predatory advances as well.
Let's do an onslaught again.
Nope,
So
going for
small
onslaught.
straight. 6
Okay.
incoming damage with bleed.
6 and a second bleed, okay. Ready? Rolling defense.
Oh man, getting all scratched up over
Okay.
there.
A smattering of things. 1 fire mastery. Inflicting a burn. And doing 2 back.
I think overall in
take
defense
6,
rolls so
so
far, the
37
Huntress has
down,
actually been
31.
more damaging than Pyro, which is a little surprising to me.
Okay. I will spend 2 for transference.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh goodness. Okay, so I have a burn on me.
wow, the stack of tokens that's building up over there on the Pyro. Kamui's got to be looking at that like,
So,
where
onslaught
is
for
my
one
what
speed.
status effects?
It's your turn.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll for the bleeds. I'm technically supposed to do them one at a time, so I suppose I will. First bleed is a 6, so it goes away. Second bleed is
Looks
a
like
2,
the
so that does the damage, so I take 3.
Looks like the onslaught
So,
upgrade is what
31
was
down to
discarded
28.
by Nate there.
Cool off as well, so there's a fire mastery. Okay, so income, card.
We got a check in
Okay.
here from the chat from the captain of Team Build Phase, talking about some dice throwing stuff with his boy.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with Slip's analysis there that the Huntress defense being able to put damage
will
on the Pyro
just go straight into rolling dice
in the
again?
defensive position is pretty important to this
Yeah, I
matchup.
got all 5. Okay.
Look at all those 4s.
Well,
Wow, what do you even...
I mean, it's a combustion, but that would only be 6 undefendable. But I mean, that's something. And Nair's still at 5, so that's okay. Hopefully.
I mean, given how much
Um,
damage you've eaten on the defense at this point, if you're in
you
Kamui's
know what I'm
shoes, I
feeling
mean,
it,
maybe
actually.
you just do the 6 undefendable. It's
I
not a
think
huge
I
amount of
will
damage, but
attempt to
if
lock
you
in
do
combustion
8
roll
and
1.
take 3 back,
Sure.
that's worse than 6
Team's on
undefendable.
fire. Remove up to 4. I only have 2, so 6 undefendable.
Okay, so I'll take 6.
Okay.
It's hilarious to
And
me
main
when the
phase
Pyromancer
2, I'm
catches
gonna
on
pay
fire
2
and takes
CP.
burn damage.
And play what stats effects and remove my burn.
Oh, and there's the what status effects. So, what status effects? Player chooses a hero and clears everything off. It's a great
And
versatile
that will do
tool
it
in
for
that
me.
it
I'll
can
use it.
wipe a bunch of bad stuff off of you, like the way Kamui used it right there, or you can use it proactively or on yourself to remove bad things from yourself, or they can use it to remove positive things. Kind of stumbled over that sentence there. Let's see. Looking at the straight draw there, it seems like with the 3, 4, 5, if what you want is a straight, you throw back the 1 and the extra 5. Is that... Oh, he's keeping the 1 and the 5. Okay, he must be going for something other than a straight then. Looks like Feral Instincts too. So that's a good move on Nate's part. You definitely want to have those bonds to try to stop the bleeding, or the burning, I guess, in this case.
Good to go?
I am good to go.
Okay.
No second main phase actions for
nothing
Nate.
on
We're
upkeep,
going back
so
over to the
just straight
Pyromancer.
income.
Looking at 23. So we're neck and neck in the health right now. 23 to 22.
Okay.
CP is very close at 2 on Nate and 3 on the Pyro. So neither player is spoiled for resources. Although look at these boards. We're
All right.
halfway through the
I'm
game,
gonna go
more
ahead
than
and roll
halfway
that.
through the game if you judge it based on starting at 50 health. And each
Well,
player
I got a
only has
combustion
one
again, but it's a
upgrade.
little less interesting this time. I think I'll keep just the 6.
Opting to hang on to the 6 and throw the rest. Now that says to me we're going to see another 6 keep here. So my prediction by hanging on to just the 6 in the first roll is that Kamui is going to hang on
keep
to
the
another
2.
6 and then has something to tip his way into a micro ult, or a mini ult rather.
Okay, well, they didn't quite get us there, really. But it does have 2 5s, so it is a burning soul.
Given that he took the 2 on the second
Sure,
roll,
I
though,
will attempt to
maybe
burn
that
soul.
read was incorrect.
Sure, go ahead. So I'll take
4
2
fire
damage.
mastery for me, 2 damage to you.
Ended up with a burning soul. Again, kind of opting for that
And I'm
lower
done.
overall
Your turn.
damage, but undefendable. And I think that's may end up being the better call. When the Huntress, or when the Pyro came out hot and heavy, it's certainly... Kamui was eating a lot more damage off of the Huntress's defensive rolls, which, if you're on Nate's side of the board, had to feel pretty good. Oh, it looks like the defense upgrade's being sold now.
The 3, 4, 5.
So we've got 3, 4, 5 looking towards a straight, and then 3 claws and a soul. I mean, that gets you pretty close to a predatory advances if you want to go that direction. Hold on to the 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like he's going for the straight here. Taking a long time to ponder this. So he's got 1 reroll left, and Nate's got to be feeling some pressure in this situation. So Nate came out of the lowers bracket, which means he had a loss earlier in the event. So if he drops 2 games tonight, this is game over. The tournament is over. Kamui is the champion. So there's a lot more at stake here for Nate, and that I think has got to be playing into your mindset. Maybe second, triple guessing plays, and sometimes that keeps you sharp.
That is a
Sometimes that
savage.
Right.
Sometimes that can put you in a position
Going
where
for
you're
savage?
making it harder on
all
yourself
yours.
by
Go for it.
overthinking the situation.
So that's 7 incoming damage.
7 defendable. Okay.
7
I will roll
defendable off
d6.
Savage here from Nate.
4 damage and a burn.
Oh, gosh. So he does 7 to the Pyro
I take 7.
and is going to eat
So I go
4
down to
plus a
16.
burn back. That's almost
Yeah,
a
23, 7, yeah, 16.
break even. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have to win with 20 health. You only have to win with 1. So taking damage back is a reasonable thing. It is something you have to contend with. If you want to kill the Pyromancer, you have to wade through the flames to get there. But when the health is this neck and neck...
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use the tippet. So I'm tipping your 4 to tip it to 5, I guess.
Okay, so I just get a fire mastery instead.
Okay,
just
so
3
we
and
ended
4.
up seeing a tippet. Tipping the 5 to a 4. It looks like in an effort to avoid taking the burn. Huntress getting her barb on while Pyro being Pyro.
Alright,
Yeah,
anything else?
that's a good comment.
Nope. That is everything.
It is crazy the damage output that Huntress has put together here,
upkeep,
and I'm really
cool
surprised
off.
at how much of it is on
Income.
the defensive roll. Like, I understand there's damage on the Huntress's defensive outcome table, but
Okay.
was it 8, almost 10 damage put together across like 3 or 4 turns? I should have been writing that down if I'm going to reference it. But a large amount quick off of defense as well.
I will pay 2 CP and upgrade my small straight. The hot streak and gets me scorch as well.
Both players at 16 health. We finally see our
And
third
I think
upgrade of the game.
That'll do it. I think I'll roll dice. Okay, 1,
2, 4, 5. I mean, you just upgraded your straight. You almost have to keep that 2, 4, 5.
4, 5.
Just the 4, 5. Okay.
4, 5 again.
That does offer up a
I'll
burning
keep
soul,
the
I think.
4 and a 2.
Although that's,
Yeah,
I guess with
keep me
this amount of
scorch
fire
zone.
mastery, that's actually not bad.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
With
have
that, after third roll, I will attempt to activate Scorch.
okay. Attempt to activate
Okay.
Scorch.
Burn and 6 defendable.
Okay. I will. One back to you.
1 taken.
Now that's the kind of damage differentials
Oh, wait,
you want to be
whoa,
seeing
whoa, whoa.
if
Oh,
you're on
that's
Kamui's side. Well, if you're on anybody's side, you want to be doing
Yeah,
damage to your
another
opponent while your
2
opponent
burn.
fails to return damage to you. And the Scorch damage coming in, plus the burn, that looks like 8, whereas on this particular roll, the Huntress was only able to do 1 damage back. So the health spread just started to look a lot worse for Huntress here. Got a comment here from Slip. I do coaching for Huntress and cause the game, because the games usually last for 8 turns, her defense will do 14 to 16 damage with Naira. That's pretty good. So holding on to the 6 here and nothing else. Now anytime I see somebody pluck a 6 out of the initial roll and throw everything else back, it gives me the hand read, okay, they've got something. They're going to try to get 2 or 3 6s and then fix the rest of the way into their ultimate. Wow. Ended up on a large straight instead. 2 bleed plus 7 damage unless there's modifiers afoot. Looks like we're waiting for a moment here on presentation. Let's hop back in and see if any dice manipulation comes down from Kamui.
Yeah, that would be 9 and 2 bleeds. That's pretty rough.
So if we assume average 2 damage on the bleed, 2 bleeds, that's going to be 4 damage plus 9. We're looking at that 13 damage. That's almost lethal. Now I know the bleeds will take a couple turns to get there, but just thinking in terms of the...
what on. And to allow you to interrupt me if you're kind of like counter that. But, you know, feel free to wait until I actually figure out what I'm doing. So you got 2 through 6.
So there's a So Wild coming down from Kamui here, and he's thinking through the option of what dice does he want to manipulate to try to... Of course you want to try to force a scratch, which is one of the weaknesses of Huntress, is that she has, at least when I play her, more combinations that lead to scratches than other characters. Yeah, again, I agree with this comment here in the chat. Slip, you're on fire tonight with your observations. This is... Both players have shown really tight play tonight.
Into a 5.
So 3 is going to a 5 with the So Wild. Which does seem like it's going to lead to a scratch here.
2 CP for so wild to change it back.
Right
Unless
on.
Nate
Okay.
has something.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, I'm out of CP, so yeah, I'm just
Nice.
rolling defense.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened.
5 damage back.
We got a so wild to answer the so wild.
Alright, so I took 9, so I am down to 15 minus 9, so 6.
Down to 3.
Wow. Neck and neck here in the last turn. 6 health on Pyro as turn is going to
Anything
pass
else?
from 3 health on the
Okay.
Huntress. It looks
Cool
like
enough.
0 CP
Whoa,
for Pyro,
sorry,
which is
sorry.
going to, well,
So,
1
yeah.
once the turn
There we go.
successfully
Now-
passes.
Okay. Upkeep.
And is
I
that-
am cooling off 1 fire mastery.
I think that's
Income.
3 on Nate's side.
Card.
So 4 fire mastery still sitting on the Pyro. There's a ton of different dice combinations that could lead to lethal damage. Assuming if we assume that Nate has no dice manipulation cards left and showing 3 CP, I'm not sure what his hand
Oh, what
size
did
is
you
at
roll
this
for your
moment.
bleeds?
Oh, I'm so sorry. You large straighted me. I didn't roll. I didn't give myself the bleeds or roll for either.
Oh,
All right. Well, I had 0 CP at that time, so I'm just gonna roll them both. 3 and a 5. So 1 damage for 1, and the other goes away. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I forgot the bleed.
so we missed a bleed trigger there, which, hey, we've all been there. Like, no shame. We all missed nanites and bleeds and poisons and burns. Like, things happen. But we fixed the players fixed the game state. And before this comes up, if here on the commentary stream we witness some breach of protocol, we witness a card not being played correctly or some kind of rule issue, I am not jumping in to fix anything. The players are the players. They're going to maintain the board state, and we are just spectating tonight. So you got to be going for lethal here, if you're Kamui. Like,
Okay.
and it's got to be undefendable because you don't want to run the risk. Let's see, is Naira active?
I attempt to activate Burning Soul.
All right, so we got a Burning Soul, which is going to do 2 fire mastery, and then 2 collateral damage, which
That's
is
your first roll, eh?
Yes, sir.
not going to finish him off here. Chat, let me know when we have the player voices if they need to be louder or volumes are okay. Really thinking this one through.
First
The amount of
roll.
time Nate is taking here to think, again,
Okay, I'll use twice as wild.
yep, there it is.
I'll change your 2 5s to 4s.
And credit where it's due.
The 4s.
Kevin here in the chat called that twice as wild, way before it was played.
Okay. Picking up everything. Roll 2.
All right, so there's
Attempt
more
to activate
rerolls
Burning
here
Soul.
coming on Kamui's side.
Okay, I can't do anything.
Okay,
Oh,
so
lucky.
yeah. Oh, you're not lying. My goodness. So yeah, 2 collateral, and upkeep 2 more.
Oh, he's going to get him with burn.
Good game.
Holy
Oh my
smokes.
gosh. Very good.
Wow, for it to come down to that, that's incredible. All right, so before
If it was
while the players are
anything
getting ready
else,
to
anything else,
start the next game up,
Yeah, I was.
I have
Okay guys, I've taken like 4 of these videos, so I'm going to try to nail this one. This is Joe from Team Build Phase, and one thing that I've learned about doing little videos is that 1, I like to videotape the table, and 2, I talk fast. Along with referencing videotapes, yikes, I am aging myself. Anyway, congratulations to the 2 finalists of our first ever Build Phase Dice Thrones Throwdown. This is our first ever league for Dice Thrones. We will be doing many more. So if you haven't participated or you have participated, make sure you sign up for the next ones. So they are fun, and I think people kind of always looking for a way to play. So keep your ear to the ground for more. Without any further ado, let me talk to you about the pieces in front of you. So I was working with Darren Wheelock of the community here in Dice Thrones. He's on our server, the Build Phase server here, and then also on the Dice Thrones Facebook group. He's the mind behind these creations, and I just simply printed and painted them. So if you're ever looking for something to get done, that's the guy you want to talk to. These are the models that we're going to be giving away, some miniatures here for the Treant specifically, and then a smoke bomb, or you need to step into the shadows. That's always fun to throw down. And then some poison vials and burn tokens, which will also be fun to throw down at your opponent's board. So these are part of the spoils for the winner of our first ever league. We will continue to try to do some fun things with this as well for upcoming leagues. But I wanted to get out here and give you a quick little video of what else is coming.
You want me to check my Discord right now, man?
Here at Team Build Phase. So again, shout out to Darren. If you need anything, look him up and go win some games, guys.
Assume you don't have Pyro, but you've got it pulled up somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, if by all means, if you ever need, let me know, and I will grab this.
All right, so our players are getting set up here for the next game.
There.
Oh man.
There, 3 balloons.
It looks like we got Huntress going again.
Straight match.
And we'll have Pirate active on Kamui's side.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And oh, right. Because it's color coordinating, so it's fun. Grab the purple for the purple game.
Nice.
Like I'm pretty sure it's legally required. I don't have much choice.
Yeah.
All right. Getting ready to go into match 2 here. So this is a matchup that I think is really interesting because the Huntress is widely considered dogged on. The Huntress is widely referred to as being one of the weakest characters. She does not get a lot of love. And the Cursed Pirate is similarly group thought to be one of the stronger players, a character that really does a ton of damage, has advantages along a bunch of axes. However, when these two characters come together, even though Huntress is not widely considered to be a super strong option, the things that she does well actually do match up pretty decently against the Cursed Pirate. So the humorous situation is one of the game's very well balanced, so I don't want to necessarily objectively say this character is worse, but widely considered to be a weaker character, Huntress, because of her tanky nature and because of the way the pirate, once she flips, starts to completely decay. She's in a position where she can actually wait out and absorb damage from the strongest character in the game and have a more favorable matchup than a lot of other characters who are maybe more overall, like, you can be good against everything else and still bad against Cursed Pirate. And Huntress kind of struggles against a lot of things, but has great game against Cursed Pirate. So back into the current gameplay, we got Nate activating a small straight here.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the bleeds this time because I failed you last game. Goodness. Okay, so rolling forward.
Can we quick put the bleeds on?
Okay, 2 CP for me, 1 damage back, and I prevent 2. So I take 4.
You take oh yeah, you take 4.
Yeah, and because I never rolled 2 swords and a 6, I do not get a doubloon.
Okay. Your turn.
Okay.
So this is still not the best differential. I 4 damage across to the pirate. Huntress has to take 1 on the return.
1 CP. One
certainly better than
card.
some of the differentials in the Pyro game, but
Alrighty.
I think if you're in Nate's position, you are
Sure.
less concerned with trying to
I will-
rush down with
yeah,
early
exactly.
burst damage
Like that.
now,
And scooch these over.
and
Okay.
more focus on I want
I'm
to
gonna
be
pay one
tank. Kind of the
CP.
similar game plan to the Pyro,
Play
but you don't
double
have to
up
couple that game
for
plan
2
with damage
cards.
output like you do when playing against the Pyro, because eventually, if it goes on long enough, Cursed Pirate's going to kill herself.
And rolling dice. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Well, sure.
Strong
nothing in
chance at a
micro
straight there.
Never punished anybody.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
1, 4. Okay.
Looking for,
There's
all right,
one.
well, small straight here, and apparently Nate's protection of Naira last game was inspired by PETA.
Sure. Actually, I'll go ahead and try to stop. I'll attempt to do my small straight. So
Sure.
7
Okay.
defendable in a keg.
So Kamui deciding to hedge against any potential dice manipulation cards that Nate may have had there by presenting after only 2 rolls.
Back.
Takes that.
Damage going both ways, and after 2 turns, we are tied up on the life
going
gauge.
to
However,
use
Kamui
the,
is showing a pretty... I mean,
burn.
4
That's
CP
okay.
does a lot more
Burns again.
things than
Fair
2
enough.
does.
The fuse is lit. I like it. That'll work.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, main phase 2. Yes, sir. I'm done. All you.
I think we should see a Curse to Bloom peel off there, right?
It's a 4, so nothing happens.
Okay.
CP. Draw a card.
Yeah. I bet they'll catch it, though.
Oh,
Hmm.
we keep the 2, 3, 5.
All right, 2 bonds. Looks like a straight roll there. Needs a 4 to complete it,
Use
though.
predatory advance.
Nope.
Sure,
Opting
I'll
for
do that.
predatory
Oh,
advance.
snap. Okay. Yeah.
So
All
Naira's
yours.
gonna heal 1
so
and then
heal 1
5
and then
damage
7
coming to the pirate.
7 defendable. Hey, rolling them. Okay.
What?
I prevent 4, 1 back, 1 CP.
Yikes.
Take
So I take 3, so down to 39, I think.
1. What is this?
Man, even with Naira giving Nate 2 extra attack there, with that much damage absorption, it just... brutal. So looking at second main
upgrade
phase
my
actions
Eternal
here,
Bond.
a defensive upgrade. Okay.
Okay.
And I think that is.
To Maternal Bond 2 or 3?
Oh, it's an Eternal Bond 2.
Okay.
It's a level 2 upgrade there.
I think that's all I do.
Okay.
Your turn.
Alrighty. Upkeep for the bleed. Oh, yeah, and I failed to lose a doubloon last turn.
Oh, finally caught up to that doubloon there.
Got one person who keeps losing things on upkeep and the other at end phase. You gotta start saying those out loud.
I see Slip in the chat
2.
calling
So
out
bleed.
potential
Damage.
failure to roll for a keg, and if
Yeah.
it happened, I missed it too.
Income. Card. Alrighty. Rolling dice.
All right, so no main phase actions in main phase 1 from
3,
the
4,
pirate.
5, 6, 6.
Double skulls feels good. It's most of the way to walk the plank. Is that a full walk the plank? Yeah. Just a nat walk plank. Steal CP, discard, which Nate only has one.
Okay.
Could force a discard, and 7 damage incoming. At 38 to 41, I might just present right
I'll
there.
Keep a couple 6s.
Oh, all right. Kamui has other ideas. He's gonna hold on to 2 6s,
Okay.
and throws another walk the plank roll right after.
Fortunately, we didn't get more, but I mean that is a walk the plank. And sure, I will attempt to walk the plank.
So
Good.
ultimately
Okay,
settling
I'll
on the
choose
walk
the
the
steal
plank
1
roll.
CP option.
Oh, and did offer CP as
And
well,
7
which I think
defendable.
feels strong. Like, zero him out.
Okay, gonna roll 4 dice now.
$35 to $34. Now, you know, if you're sitting in Kamui's side of things, it definitely feels like that was a strong attack. He activated Walk the Plank. Okay, Kamui's removing the bleed token off of his character using Get That Out of Here. Does he remember the coin? Doesn't seem like it. So, Powder Keg pops. Oh, and Kevin says he did roll for it, so me and Slip must have just missed that. There in the chat. So you come in, you zero out your opponent's CP, you attack for 7, and based on the defense roll, it's still 35 to 31. I mean, this is neck and neck. So you really see, ooh, look at that. if only got points for getting all of the same. It looks like we're going to
Hard
see
to
a
argue
straight
with
here.
that. Yeah, I will.
Seems
Helping
like
Hand
Kamui might have a
for 1
response.
CP. I will play Helping Hand on your.
Gotta go for the 4 here, right?
Well, it's kind of rough either way, because it's pretty decent odds to get a Feral Instinct. But I mean, a large straight is so strong on her.
Man,
Re-roll the 3, I suppose.
so here we go. Re-rolling the 3.
Okay, well, Feral Instincts then.
Ends
Fair
up as a
enough.
2,
Well,
and he rolls into
undefendable.
Feral Instincts. Gonna get a bond
And you, yeah, that's it. 4 undefendable.
and undefendable damage. And even though 2 is a small number, undefendable damage has to feel good.
Are we actually
I mean,
tied?
it's tied up now.
Okay, look at that.
Oh yeah, and I should only have 1 doubloon also.
Caught the doubloon.
Sure. All right, your turn.
Okay. Income. Card.
Wow, is that 6 CP on the pirate side? Now the health totals might be tied, but a CP imbalance like that, and the fact that Crow's Nest coming down.
Rolling the dice, and one way or another, your cards will be involved. Got a sword. On a sword, I get to examine your hand.
All right, so Nate's gonna have to reveal his entire hand here.
I don't know if you can see that.
All right. Yeah, feel free to holler them out. So yeah, one more. Yeah, okay, yeah. So a couple of get rid of status effecties, which is nice. So yeah, get that out of here. What status effects? Get paid and one more time.
Hmm.
Oh, and a prowl.
Go ahead.
Now this is one of those things. Examining your opponent's hand is one of the most skill testing things that you can find in games. Because giving information to the opposing player is only as good as that player is at doing stuff with that information. So the more skilled the player, the more capable they are of choosing lines to play around what is revealed in their opponent's hand. And a less skilled player can have the exact same information and it may not even impact their play, or it may impact their play negatively. That is a lot of 5s. I like that the players are talking through these things, like the dice getting kind of cocked up on the side there or bouncing out of the tray. So one of the things the pirate does so well is that 5 CP is just a Damocles hanging over Nate's head, because the pirate doesn't have to invest CP into upgrading their board. Now, that is a little bit of drawback in that their powers are their powers. They don't get stronger over time other than the one big flip. Wow, that's a crazy roll. So it looks like we're going to see an X marks the spot here. But because of that, all the things that the pirate has to play are all immediately impactful. They're all burstier, where other heroes tend to have to invest and get payoff over time. But the pirate's tempo level is just crazy. Any second main phase actions here from Kamui? So even though that X marks the spot did produce some damage, Nate put it into Naira, so the health tiles remain
for fun. I'm going to pay 3 CP, so from 6 to 3 here, and play Truce on you.
Okay.
The Flick of Parlay.
I will use knockdown for that.
Knockdown is probably right on. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So,
and I think
parlay,
that'll do it for me. So
for anybody not
lose
familiar, parlay is maybe the best status effect in the game that doesn't appear on the Shadow Thief board. It essentially works the same as the Shadow Thief Shadows, except the opposite. So instead of reducing damage to 0, it prevents your opponent from being able to deal damage. It is a frustrating status effect. Now, it does have an exposure point here where in main phase 1, Nate, if possible, could use some kind of an effect to remove it, depending upon what was top decked, where a CP situation is. He could also just opt to ignore the parlay and instead try to roll, like resuscitate, to try to put some health onto Naira, which he could definitely use. Naira's taken some hits. Oh, he is going to take advantage of this window of vulnerability to clear that parlay, it looks like.
Forced me to spend a card.
Well, I paid 3 in a card, so you could pay 1 in a card. But I mean, I'm also the pirate, and I get CP for days. So
in terms of the
it
exchange
almost
rate
comes
there,
out in the wash, I guess.
3 in a card versus 1 in a card to cancel it. That's certainly more efficient on Nate's side of the board.
1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6.
We're going to see a 4 here.
4 undefendable, and I heal 2 for Nira.
Okay. 4 undefendable. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
It's your turn.
Got an observation in the chat here that the truce may have been a misplay on the pirate's part.
Card.
Trying to get doubloons back to avoid flipping.
No real opinions. So, rolling dice.
Health differential looking favorable to Nate here going
3,
into
4,
this
5,
turn, while
6.
still down big time in terms of the CP
Or
resources.
walk the plank.
27 to 31. That's a lead for the Huntress. And when you look at Naira as well, there is a, maybe not a comfortable cushion, but there is a cushion here for Nate in this matchup. And as the pirate starts to flip, they're going to decay much faster. We may be saying it feels a little early still, but I think we may be looking at seeing the beginnings of a game 3 here.
Okay.
Staring long and hard at this, there is a potential walk the plank. Now, the last time Kamui activated walk the plank, which should feel like a fairly strong turn based on the defense roll, it didn't move the overall health. Or actually, I think the damage went to Naira. Either way, the overall net effect on the health didn't end up doing a whole lot to Nate's side of the board. So do you look at that walk the plank, look at Naira's health state, and say, okay, let's go for this again? We don't know what kind of cards he's holding.
I'll keep 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5, 6.
That was my first roll, right? Okay, good.
So it seems like he may be chasing a straight,
6.
which I don't like that. If you're going to chase the straight there, keep the 3, 4, 5 and throw back the
Doesn't
6.
do much for me.
Like the 6 is useless without the 2.
I'll re-roll again. Another 6.
Another
Okay.
6.
I'll attempt to
6
do
is
my
for
small
days
straight.
over here.
Sure, go ahead.
So lighten the fuse. 7 defendable and a powder keg.
Rolling. Oops.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't have said the 6 is useless.
So
There
that
is the small
3
straight
back
there.
at you, and then your idea is 2.
Okay.
That was silly.
I'm gonna go and take the 3. But before you take your damage, I'm gonna pay 2 CP and play Run You Through.
Sure. I'm just gonna take the 7 first, though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
And looking for swords, rolling 5 dice.
So we got an attack modifier.
Okay.
7
that's the
damage
magic
plus
number.
powder
so
keg
3 more
off.
damage and another keg. So basically 6 more damage.
Wow.
use getting paid for 2 CP, and then bye-bye to get rid of that.
Get rid of the first one? Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, so
Okay,
with the
so
second
only 3
keg
more
coming
then.
in off of the Run You Through, Nate was put in the position where he had to throw the bye-bye to get rid of the first powder keg to prevent
Alrighty.
it from blowing up when the second one came in.
Yeah. No opinions. So she's flipping.
Or did he let the first one? Did I misread that?
Oh.
It seems like since there's no powder keg now, he must have
Here.
let the first one. Oh no, there it is. Okay,
So
yeah.
let me just roll for a keg and hope for a 6.
And with no doubloons
Well
left,
done.
the pirate has flipped to the curse
So
side,
sad.
and Kamui is on a serious
Alright,
clock here.
So this is gone. Gain a CP. Draw a card. Use Vegas. 6. Now I get the 6.
Nice.
Getting a 6 off the Vegas, baby. So for the
CP.
first time in the game, I think, Naira, or I keep wanting to call Huntress Naira, Huntress is sitting on
Right.
more CP than the Cursed Pirate. I don't think that's happened the whole game. Got a lot of claws there,
He's a
huh?
savage.
3, 4, 5.
You've already flipped Hang.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is a guaranteed small straight.
Man.
See if we can get a large straight. 2. Oh. Dare I roll again?
I mean, this is the tricky thing when you are dealing with straights. Like, you could just present here. Okay, so there was a little bit of a risk there where you present the small straight with 1 reroll left. If your opponent spends CP to try to manipulate your dice and then you have another reroll, they're in a position where that might not be efficient use of CP. Nate did take that 3rd reroll in the attempt to chase the large straight, and ultimately was not punished for it. So 6 damage incoming, plus a bleed. And again, if
Alright,
you're
go
looking
on.
at the Huntress board, it's
Okay.
4 damage plus
I'll
Naira's
roll for the
active,
bleed.
so 2
So
there.
I'm taking 4 or 5
While
damage.
we've got 18 to 14
It is
here
a
on the
6.
health
Bleed
dials
goes
with
away.
Naira sitting over there at 7.
4
Nate
damage upkeep.
still
so down
has-
14.
Again, I don't know if I'd call it a
Income,
comfortable cushion, but he
bar.
still has a cushion in terms of health. Now it's 14 to 14 on the health dials, but Nate's got that plus 7. Average damage for a hero is 7 to 10 damage per turn. That's a whole extra turn.
I think I'll roll.
Going into main phase here. Wow. Abyssal
That's an
Walk.
Abyssal. As it lies.
I mean, the stealing 1 CP at this point does not seem as good as it
You got
did
CP for days.
the last
How many
time
cards do you have in
Kamui
hand?
activated Walk the Plank.
3.
Now, Abyssal Walk is essentially
3.
the same ability, but upgraded on the curse side of the
Okay.
board.
I think I know what those 3 are. I think.
Whew. Now, this was the first roll from Kamui. So what else could he potentially go for? This isn't something you'd want to try to keep with a straight. You could potentially throw the 4s back and go for Shivering.
I think I'm okay with Abyssal Walk, actually.
Which is 8 undefendable. Nope, sounds like he's going to stick with the Abyssal Walk.
Okay.
You discard one of your choice.
One card of my choice. Okay?
You get a Wither.
Stealing a CP and discarding a card and inflicting a Wither.
Defendable.
And 8 defendable damage.
I'll make these my Withers. And how much?
8 defendable.
8 defendable. Oof.
Man. I mean, so if you're in Nate's position, you got to be looking at that powder keg. That doesn't feel very good. Like,
I'm gonna get near to take it off.
A potential source of damage as well.
I will buy your Naira's Bond.
Can you do that?
Because I'm the attacker, I can do that. Like, I have priority. Even if we both want to do it at the same time, I have priority. If you were the attacker and I tried to buy it, you'd be able to spend it before it.
Oh, man.
So then basically, I can't use the split damage then.
Well, you can't. You also can't use it to heal her now that she's down. Yeah.
Well, no, she's not going down because I'm using it to split damage, right?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So...
I thought you were taking the full. I'm sorry. I thought you were taking the full damage with her.
No. So
all right. So the play that just happened here is Nate attempted to spend Naira's Bond to split damage between Naira and Huntress. Kamui responded with a bye-bye to blow up the bond at instant speed to force Nate to either put all the damage on Naira or roll his defense, and Nate clearly opted here, as we see the defense roll happen, to roll his defense. That's pretty brutal.
Okay. Well, this is going to get a little nutty.
So much for that cushion. All right. Nate's back is against the wall here.
I'm going to sell Transference, Samesies, and what status effects for 3 CP.
Going up to 6 CP, it looks like, on the pirate side.
And I'm going to play Getting Paid for 2 CP.
Wow.
So I'm up to 8. And now for 4 CP, I'm going to play Batten Down.
Okay, sure.
So drawing 4 cards.
All right, so burning through the whole hand on Kamui's side to batten down and essentially refill. The old aggro deck necessity. You've gassed out and now you got to reload.
Paying 2 CP for Swashbuckle.
Sure.
All right, so at 8 for a moment, then playing batten down.
Roll a die and things happen.
Swashbuckle.
Okay, sure.
On a sword, I do 2 damage to opponent. On a chest, I draw 2 cards. On a 6, I inflict a powder keg on a chosen opponent.
If you're Nate, you really don't want to see that 6 here.
Got a 6.
Kamui's got to feel good about that. So powder keg comes in, which causes the first powder keg to blow up.
I'm going to sell one more time.
Yep.
And for 3 CP, I'm going to play Feed the Fish. Inflict a powder keg on up to 3 different opponents. So, aka 1 powder keg to you.
Okay, so I'll do
Another
3.
powder keg comes in. Maybe that Fire Mastery token is something.
End my turn at 0 CP and 1 card.
Okay.
Your turn.
CP. Oh, I had to roll for powder keg first. 6. Oh, I die.
Oh,
my
no.
Oh, good game.
Good game, sir.
Oh, brutal.
Never mind, the cards.
So it comes down to a powder keg roll, and the powder keg
I had a better deed in my hand,
blows
so
up
I
on the
made the
Huntress.
but that was about it.
Ninja never sees
Good
play.
game, sir. I'm so sorry all the mistakes I made. The 2 of my 4 Thanksgiving nights that I've had the last 4 days, tonight being one.
Wow.
I've been staying up past midnight talking with family far too long. So I blame that. I'm so sorry.
All right, so ultimately we do have the conclusion here. Congrats to Kamui for going undefeated through the entire Build Phase Dice Throne Throwdown series. This is incredible.
And I will get back to you about that pretty soon.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Huntress scares the crap out of me. I know people argue she's low tier or whatever, but I feel so like when it gets down to the bottom and she has Naira active, it's like I can't win without playing extremely specific things and hope for luck. Oh gosh, like there's just something about her that just stresses me out. So good job on that one.
Oh, thank
Yeah, I like I'm sorry I waited till the literal last second. It's practically gamesmanship. It's practically rude. So I'm sorry about that.
it's totally fine.
But yeah, like back in the day, before they added the timing conflicts addendum, which I don't even think is in the rule book yet, but before they added that on like the Facebook group, and all it did was just clarify, like whenever simultaneous play is ever wanted, it starts with who has priority, which is always the attacker. Several people, myself included, thought priority moves to the defender during the defensive role phase because they're the ones doing things. They're the ones rolling dice. They're the ones playing, like dice mod cards on their own dice or whatever. Like it just feels like it's their turn to do things, but they cemented that it's not. And so that cemented two strategies, like one that you can do what I did and basically jump in front of an instant and say, no, with bye-bye, I can jump in front, even though you just said you want to play an instant, which is kind of messed up, but it is what it is because the only other answer was slapjack or Magic the Gathering, like, rules pedantry, like, okay, did you pass priority? Okay, well, now I do this, and they didn't want it to be like that. The other thing it cemented as a defender, let's say you're playing against a gunslinger with a bunch of reload tokens, you can, after they lock in their attack, before you even roll defense, you can say, I try to buy your reload. Do you play it to interrupt me? Cool. That retroactively makes my bye impossible. It makes it null and void. So I get my card back. I get my 2 CP back. But you had to play your attack modifier before I even had to roll defense dice. Obviously, the gunslinger can delete the game and say, okay, fine. You want to play a bye on a reload? Go for it. Done. And, the game of chicken is gone. But for people like Ninja or Shadow Thief, who their defense could negate the entire attack, that's a legitimate strategy. So yeah, it's kind of funky, it's weird, and it's tournament level pedantic, and I'm sorry to have done it. I should have just bye-byed it at the start of my turn. Yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for hosting this, man.
Thanks. Yeah.